our political climate. But you were Pat Mella, and I was Joe Giz, and we had many great people in our supporting cast, and we actually won a few humor awards and originality awards this year at the old parades. So that was fun, Dorothy, and I wanted to say that also what has been fun is seeing you in action with your troupe of players at Lot 16 Hall. And can you tell me a bit about how the Lot 16 players actually came into existence?
Well, it was about probably 12 years ago, and a lady by the name of Marlene Campbell phoned me up and asked if I'd be interested in doing a play with her and a few other people. And that's how it began. And we did at the Lot 16 Hall, and we went on the road that very first year. And it was a lot of fun, so it just continued on.
There's a whole tradition of community theater, and that involves like getting to talk to the audience and performing during the acts and selling fudge. And what other accoutrements of community theater are displayed at Lot 16?
Well, the Lot 16 players are a unique group. They're probably not your ordinary players. They tend to want to do anything for a laugh.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed.
Anything for a laugh, and a bit of even audience participation.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we make mistakes, and
Really?
if you laugh, we don't care.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds like my TV show that we have right here. Dorothy, again, a few nights ago, I played in my humble, stupid, plodding way, LaSalle, the Black Butler. And
Yes.
so that was my George Plimpton act of actually inhabiting a community play. I had never been in one before, and I certainly will never be in one, judged on my acting ability. But what happens now when you're leading up to your new play, which is Miss Susie Shoots the Works? What happens in people's lives when they're getting on your way to create a play?
Well, everything revolves around the play. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
You cancel probably appointments or meetings and things. And
You don't cancel marriages or anything like that, do you?
Well, marriages, you have to have an understanding spouse.
I see.
Or a boyfriend or girlfriend. You really do, because a lot of your time and your energy is directed to the play.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet twice a week, and it's 3 hours a night. And you have to learn your lines all week. You know, you have to really be on top of your lines.
What happens when someone's not there and someone doesn't have their lines prepared? What do you do as a director?
In rehearsals, we just have someone else fill in as you did the other night. And I must say you did a wonderful job.
Oh, yes, I'm a ham, that's for sure.
Yes, you are.
Well, now, okay, what else happens? Do you crack the whip when the people aren't there and say, why
No.
aren't you here? Or
No, because if they're not there, I know they're not there for a good reason.
I see, like
And,
childbirth or something like that.
A death is a good one.
Oh, death is
yes.
always good.
But if an actor isn't there, they do have a really good reason.
Mhm.
And I don't get on their back because it's fun.
So what part of their body do you get on?
Well, I don't get on any part of their body if I can help it. Only during the play, I've been known to do things like that, but we'll just forget that, Wayne.
All right, Dorothy.
No, they're there to have fun. And if they don't know their lines some nights or things aren't going well, it doesn't matter. The next night they will. And during the play, they'll all come through for me. Because they're there to have fun and have a good time. We're not getting paid for it. It's amateur, and that's what the Lot 16 players are really all about. And when you see us acting, you know that we are having a good time, and it just reflects down into the audience.
I remember see how they run last year, and you were all running around and having a great time. And
Yes.
has that always been a tradition with you, comedy rather than, shall we say,
Yes.
Shakespearean tragedy? I see.
We could never do Shakespearean tragedy.
Now, why would that be?
We're just not the type.
I see.
No, that's
So
not us.
So it's all of these people coming and going and knocking each other over and really having a great time. And
Yeah, we like to make fools of ourselves
I see.
sometimes. We can't do it in normal life. So
Oh,
we
you can't?
No, we're not supposed to. And we can get up on the stage once a year and sort of make a fool of ourselves and let other people laugh at us and forget their troubles.
And do they really forget their troubles? Have you ever talked to them about what it actually means
audience?
to them? Do they love this moment in their lives when the
One
play
lady
comes?
told me last year, she said she was glad when the play was over because her stomach was so sore from laughing.
I'll be darned.
So she laughed all through it. And if you're laughing, you're not thinking about a problem at home or in the
That's right.
world or the community.
And there's a lot of problems in every community. And now you say you're on the road. That's not a kind of a thing you do anymore, is that
We
right?
don't do it anymore. Some of us are getting too old for that.
I've noticed that. Right.
Have you? But it's really too hard. Like all of our actors work full-time except myself. And, you know, you have to leave around 5:30 in the evening, go to a particular community and set your staging all up. And then at the end, you have a lunch and a little social gathering with the committee in charge.
Yes.
And then you take it all back down again. And you don't get home till maybe, you know, 12 or 1 o'clock.
If you
So-
had a kind of a smaller, lighter set, could you not do it? Or is the set the real problem, or is it
It's
just
the
advanced
time.
age?
It's a little combination of
Oh.
time and advanced age,
I
Wayne.
see.
You know what about that.
I'm trying to not know too much about it, but it's getting to me right now.
Yeah, I
That's
can see around the edges there.
around the edges. Well, I just touched that up a bit. You know, it's Shakespearean whiteout. Anyway, Dorothy, like now you've got to play Miss Susie Shoots the Works. Now, what happens when you kind of create a play like that? Do you write to the agent for the play, or how does that happen?
I have a small library of playbooks, and over the summer and the fall, I read a lot of plays, and I choose one, and then I order it from Samuel French in Toronto, and they are the people that collect the royalties on it, and
Are some of those plays real gems insofar as that you can get a great funny play for a low rate, or do you try that or not?
it just happens that way. The more modern plays, the royalties are higher. But it's very hard to get a good play. Or I shouldn't say a good play. It's very hard to get a play that the Lot 16 players want,
I see.
because we deal with really clean plays that the whole family can come to.
Exactly.
And from the grandmother to little Johnny. And
Little Johnny.
little Johnny. And look, we don't use swear words in our play. And
Only when you forget your lines.
in rehearsals, there has probably one or two
Oh, I
people,
see.
yeah, just the odd word.
Right, very odd.
But it's hard to get a good play that I call a good play because of that. It has to be a comedy, it has to be a 3-act play, and it has to be a clean play.
Why 3 acts now? Is it for commercial reasons?
I
or-
find it takes 3 acts to really get into, you know, the plot of a
I see.
play. I find a 2-act play is a little harder for us if it's comedy
Yes.
to get into a real plot. It takes the first act, you're really telling what the play is about. The second act is all the trouble you get into, and the third act brings it all together.
I see. And how many plays have you actually done, Dorothy? I've never known that.
12,
12 plays. 12, one per year, or
one a year.
do you ever think of repeating a great success, or
We've
not?
thought of it, but there's always that other challenge of a new play, you know.
Now, do you know beforehand how many actors you have to work with, or how does that happen?
Not until I choose the play. And this year we have 11 actors, which is quite a few. And we have, I think, 7 new ones. I lost some really good actors from last year and the year before.
Where did they go?
They went back to school
Oh.
and university and other jobs. So I have an excellent cast this year. They've got enthusiasm and they enjoy it. And, you know, it's just they just bubble with enthusiasm.
And you are the head bubbler, I'm sure.
Well, I'm the head bubblehead anyway.
Head bubblehead? Well, that's a lovely job description. And now,
I do direct it.
You do direct it.
I
And you
try.
act in this
I act
particular
in it.
one. You're Miss Scarlet. Is
Yes.
that correct? I see.
Yes, I'm Scarlett.
You're Scarlet. Miss Scarlet. So are you a Southern belle? How does that
No, I'm a colored
translate?
maid.
You're a colored maid. All right. So you're a colored belle. Now, Dorothy, how much of a part do you have in this play? I've known in other years you were one of the main actors. Are you?
Yes, I've been the main actress in about 2 or 3 of them. And it's very hard to direct and be a main actress, the leading actress.
I see.
But we have an excellent leading actress this year. She's a new player. You'll meet her later.
We're going to talk to Jeannie Gauthier later. And so do you look for that new actress or actor each year, or do you want that angle at all?
I look for anyone that will come in the play
I see.
that I think can do the part.
Is there ever a case where someone just can't act, Dorothy?
Never.
There never is. They can
No.
always do it, can they? What if they can't really speak loud enough? Or
Well, I get after them. They will
No, I
speak
see.
loud
They
enough.
will speak loud enough, so we don't resort to any kind of designer drugs or anything to make them.
No,
I see.
no. It's very clean play.
Very clean plays. And now, Dorothy, very clean plays. How many more years do you want to do this? I know you're only in your early 30s or something right now, and so basically, will it be many years to come? Or?
Good shot.
No, we're all in our early 30s, folks. I mean, let's be
Actually, I'm
honest.
29, Wayne.
29.
Yes.
Well, you're a few years younger than me.
Yeah, I've got a few years to go in a play. I don't know. I take it from year to year. And if I get too tired of doing it or if I find there's another challenge out there, I don't know. if there's someone else that would take the play over some year, I may back away and just sit in the audience, but it hasn't come yet.
Now, are you thinking about next year's play already, or do you wait
Yes.
till this one? You
I
are?
always think of
Okay.
next
Can you
year's
give
play.
us any hints what you're thinking about for next year? A new angle or a new direction or scene or locale?
No.
You can't.
No, not really. Like I say, I read plays all the time, so there is other plays in my mind, and I often think, well, maybe we should do that one next year. Like sometimes there's two plays that are really good, and I kind of like to do the two in one year. But
I wish you could. Do you ever think of doing it in the fall or anything like that? Or
we have, but it's never materialized for some reason. We're
Why?
very busy.
busy in the
Some
fall
of
with
our-
harvest and everything?
Some of our actors are farmers, and they're busy.
Douglas
and
Campbell is a farmer
Douglas
actor.
is a farmer actor.
So would you say he's a better actor than a farmer, or what would you say?
I would say that he's probably, I'd say he's a very good farmer.
A very good farmer, folks.
But
now,
Douglas is a flexible actor. He can do any role.
yes,
He's
he is
playing an
double
old
jointed.
man. He's can't bend his knees though.
That's true. He is that way. Yeah.
No, he's playing an old man this year,
Right.
and he's played a very young fellow. I remember once when I was 29 and he was 15,
Oh yeah.
and I played his fiancée.
Uh-huh. Now you play his matronly mother.
Now I always play his mother or his aunt. Yes.
Well, just wait. Stephen will...
I ran ahead of him.
Yeah, he'll fall apart in a few years.
Douglas never ages.
Now, what is the real excitement right now, Dorothy? The getting the people together, or you're thinking of the audience pouring into the Lot 16 hall? Or...
I'm thinking of us getting our act together, so to speak. Right now, we're at a stage where we have to get our props, and we're struggling with that, and our stage set up.
So why is that a problem, props? Do you have to get a special carpenter or designer to work?
Well, unlike other play groups, we just sort of do it ourselves, or someone that can help us do it, and all of our money goes back into the community.
Right into the community, and would it be ever any money for props, or?
Yes, we
I
do,
see.
but we try to cut down the costs because, well, you only use them the one time, and then you don't use them anymore.
Now, I know that the old hall is packed every night when you have plays, and you make a lot of money, it seems to me, because I've seen my own play have lots of people coming and going, and money can build up, and so it goes to a community of good purposes? Is that what happens?
Yes, we have sponsors that help us sell tickets, and they make the fudge, the homemade fudge. And if there's the 4-H, the Lot 16 4-H Club, they sponsor us, and the church group is there, and the seniors, and the hall committee, and
I often wonder,
Women's Institute.
Dorothy, why don't you run the play for maybe 10 or 12 days, 10 or 12 nights?
We do it for, this year is going for 8 nights, and chances are, if it's successful, we will hold it over.
Did you ever think of doing it perhaps in the fall, the same play, or?
No, we don't, because once it's over, Wayne.
You know, it's a
the
funny
play.
thing, though. That may be true, but there's so many great, wonderful communities on the island. I just wish you people could travel and just sort of go to Murray Harbor or go to Tignish and just do it. I just wish you could. I just wish there were...
When we traveled, we would go up to 15 places, and it was really hard on us. And
Well, maybe you should have tried for
exhausting.
5 places.
That's true.
It's
We
just
could travel. It's always up to the players. I never make the decision on my own. I say, well, so-and-so has called me, would you like to go there? And if they say no, or, well, someone's going to be out of province at that time. You see, when you're dealing with people that are just donating their time,
Right.
you have to remember that they have families and
That's
jobs.
why so many of the great actors and actresses have rotten family life, I suppose, and
right.
have 4 or 5 wives by the time they're through, or husbands.
Yeah.
So you guys are
We
going to
stick with
avoid
one-
that. You're
one
going to
spouse.
stick with one good old spouse. And your good old spouse is whom?
Victor Gamble.
Victor Gamble, the good old spouse, folks. And there have to be many other Victors in this particular setup. And did Victor ever find that he wanted to act in your play? Or
Never.
He might want to play a...
He did do a skit once with us, and he enjoyed it, but
yeah.
I've never been able to convince him to go in it again.
I see.
No, it really
Dorothy,
ruined
we
him.
only have a few minutes left, but that's occurred to me, how did you get to this particular point in your life? As a child, were you very theatrical and doing little scenes with your fellow school chums? Or?
Well, I was an only child
Oh,
until I was about 15, and
Oh, I see.
then I had
Then you discovered you weren't.
then I didn't. No, my parents had 4 more children when I was 15. I guess I was enough to handle until
You must have broken the bank for a while or something like
But
that.
I was an only child,
Oh,
and I had to, make my own entertainment.
That's kind of interesting. I am an only child forever, and I think that makes us very imaginative and probably half deranged, but it's a great...
You have to be a little deranged to do this, I think.
Well, Dorothy, it's certainly been a wonderful experience talking to you. Now, can you tell us briefly some details of the play's dates of running, when it will play
Yes,
this year?
we start on April the 13th, and that's a special night. We do that night free of charge for the Adequate Sports and Recreation Club.
Oh, yes.
That's the physically disabled people.
Yes, yeah.
And they come out and they have a wonderful time, and we do that every year for them now, the last 3 years, and they enjoy it. And our first real night is on the 15th of April, and the 16th and 17th, right up to the next week.
So you tried out on the poor old Adequate Club there, and
We tried on them, yeah.
okay. That sounds
They
wonderful.
still come back.
And I'm sure they do, and I'm sure everyone will come back to your place as long as we all are a part of this wonderful island, Dorothy. And I want to thank you tonight for appearing. Thank you very much, Dorothy.
Thank you.
And now we have the very great pleasure of seeing Bonnie Farrell, Jeannie Gauthier, Stephen Campbell, and let me see, Helen Looker. And they are part of the Lot 16 players, and they are going to perform for you a passage from Aunt Susie Shoots the Works.
Your aunt, I might have known this was all too good to be true. I might have known that someone as good looking as you didn't come with an estate.
Joey, what's going on here?
Oh, nothing, Auntie. Nothing, really, nothing.
Well, what are you doing here?
I'm Homer Graves, the owner of this place.
You mean you think you were? This house and the works next door belong to me. And if you don't think so, just start something.
Now you listen to me, Miss Slow.
Still not slow, and why should I listen to you? Just a waste of time, as far as I'm concerned.
Ah, Miss Larry, well, I'm glad you're here.
Oh, Mr. Graves, I see you found the place okay. Have you and Mr. Graves been making yourselves known to each other?
I'd rather not know an insect like him.
Now you listen to me, Miss Flo.
See, he can't even pronounce my name right. But why I should be surprised, I don't know. I've never met a man yet that had any brains.
Oh no? Then how do you account for the fact that men have always been at the head of our government?
And no wonder the country's in the mess it's in. If I had my way, we'd have a lady prime minister, and she'd take care of all you shiftless, silly, incompetent men. Thank heavens we finally have a lady premier.
Here, here, this has got to stop. You two have got to be civil to each other.
Oh, I don't have to have anything to do with this rascal. You tell him to make himself scarce before I call the police.
You heard that, didn't you, Miss Larry? Am I to be insulted in my own home?
Would you tell that stuffed shirt to get off here right now?
Nobody's ever called me a stuffed shirt before in all my life.
Well, you tell him it's the first time for everything, and I haven't even begun to call him half the names I've lined up for him.
Aunt Susie, you mustn't really speak that way in front of Mr. Graves. What will he think of us?
Difference what an old Boyensky like him thinks.
Oh, Badinsky, am I? Well, you tell Miss Glow over there that I shall be bringing action against her for defamation of character.
And you tell that nitwit that if there's any action started around here, it will be me that will act.
Please, 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 remember, you're gentlemen.
My dear, I don't hold any animosity towards you. You didn't pick your aunt. She was wished upon you.
Well, that settles it. One of us is going to have hair in our heads, and it's not going to be me.
Miss Stone, please remember, Mr. Graves has as much legal right to be here as you do.
Oh, does he? I've always heard that the session is 9 points of the law, and I intend to take full advantage of it.
It is clear to me that this situation is hopeless. You two would never get along married to each other.
You should say not. The man wasn't born yet that could get along with the likes of that woman.
Me marry him? Do you think I'm insane?
What do you think I'm thinking?
I am a lady of high ideals. I have always been considered highly intelligent by everyone who knows me.
Yeah, boasting, eh?
No, just merely reporting.
Oh, this is so futile. If you two would just keep still for a moment, I will try to explain explain the situation to you.
That's fine with me. I'm tired of listening to this old windbag anyway.
Windbag, am I? Well, let me tell you that before I'd ever consent to marrying the likes of you, that I'd gladly commit suicide first.
Why don't you? You certainly have my permission.
Miss Laird, I'm engaging you here and now to protect the interest in my cousin Cora's estate.
I don't need a lawyer. I will be a positive delight and triumph for me to represent myself in this matter.
What are you talking about, Aunt Susie? You can never be sure what verdict the jury will bring.
Yes, I you should say not.
Oh, it's as easy as apple pie. He'll have to show up, won't he?
Yes, but you'll have to be there too.
Well, then I can't lose.
But how can you be so sure?
Because you could search the whole world over, and you'll never find a fair-minded jury that expect any woman to marry. Oh, my grace, but she's had a look at him.
If you two will take my advice, you'll settle out of court. There is nothing to be gained by fighting.
My opinion exactly.
Then you're willing to be sensible about the situation?
Of course. You just get that flat tire out of here and keep him out of here, and everything will be fine.
I'm gonna stay here and run the sausage works myself, even if I have to call in the Muscush Fire Department to help me do it.
You'll not only need the Muscush Fire Department, you'll need St. Elmer's and Summerside and the Summerside Police and the Lot 1648 and the St. Louis Legion, and you fill those out to me.
I'd like to have a private interview with you in the morning, Miss Laird. What time will it be convenient for you to meet me at your office?
I'll be there any time after 9.
I'm going to devote all my time and energy into this matter. You'll see that I'm not easily vanquished. My brains and intelligence will stand me in good stead.
If you were a third the man you think you are, you'd be driftless.
I wouldn't be doing my duty to Cousin Cora if I allowed her estate to be turned over into the hands of some untamed wildcat.
Do you hear what he called me? I will never relinquish this property to him. Never. So he thinks I'm a wildcat, does he?
Well, now, Auntie, you called him a few choice names yourself.
You certainly did.
I didn't call him a wildcat.
That's because he called you at first.
He hasn't seen anything yet. Just wait till this wildcat gets going. He'll wish he'd never been born.
Now, given billing as the lead actress, the showstopper for this particular community theater presentation is Jeannie Gauthier, and Jeannie has graciously changed her clothing and is now resplendent here before me. And Jeannie, welcome to the old studio here.
Thank you, Wayne.
Now, Jeannie, you are making your debut in acting, and I don't know of your age. I never would ask a lady her age, but you're over 16, is that correct?
That is correct.
And have you ever acted before or not?
Not in a play.
Not in a play. You've acted where?
Well, I've written little monologues
Oh,
and kind
yes.
of dressed up funny and acted them out for just little community
Oh,
variety
wonderful.
concerts.
So how does this contrast with that particular experience of being part of a whole company of players?
It's a whole complete new experience.
Are you having a great time? I think
A
you
wonderful
are. I've
time.
seen you in action.
A wonderful time.
What about this particular play allows you to have a great time? What are you doing out there on the stage? I'm sure you're not like that all the time. You're not Aunt Susie all the time, are you? Or maybe you
I'll
are.
ask one of my 4 children, and they
right.
might tell me that I could be easily that Aunt Susie at times. I find it very free. I find the cast I'm working with such a group of wonderful people. It's a fun. It's because it's so humorous, and it gives us all a lot of laughs. I like to laugh. I find laughter is a tremendous thing for life.
They actually say that if you laugh, you probably restore some kind of hormones or pheromones in your body, and you actually are healthier and live longer if you laugh.
That's right.
So you're going to live longer because of this play.
And
We
release a
hope.
lot of tension and whatnot. That's great.
So I've often wondered that. I've never really acted since I was in high school. I played Caliban in The Tempest, and I was having a great time. That's this monster. And what happens up there, this liberation, what do you liberate yourself from, if I can ask that? The ordinary life of an island woman and wife and mother?
You don't have to worry about what anyone's going to think, what are the norms you normally conform to, and you just go with the flow of things, and you're not alone. If somebody else and is as we say, making a fool of herself sometimes, but it's
Is
all
there
in
ever,
good fun.
I guess you don't know yet because you've not had the audience before you, but I wonder if there is ever a deathly moment in an actor's presence on stage that you would rather be somewhere else, like Philadelphia or something like that.
Quite possibly there is, but I've yet to find that out.
Would that be a moment when you forget all of your lines completely, or?
Please, don't give me that thought.
I often wondered that. That must be what keeps a lot of people from being actors, that hell on earth when you cannot remember exactly who you are or what you are doing here.
I imagine it does, because when I originally started this to Dorothy, I thought, well, I've never done this. I think I'd like to do it. So a little part.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there and found out I had the lead part,
Dorothy,
I really
Dorothy
nearly
is
went
that
home.
way. Yes. The little part becomes Othello or something like that after a while. But I'm sure Dorothy had great stars in her eyes when she saw you. And did you feel a particular sympathy for this Aunt Susie character, or did you find that that was a role that you wanted to inhabit?
I didn't really think about it in that sense. I found the first night reading it, it was a role I knew. I just had a gut feeling I knew I could play it.
Now, Jeannie, will you be performing as the years go on? Do you look forward to doing this next year and next year, or are you all through? Is this a one-time shot?
No, I'd like to do it again.
Oh,
I don't know.
sounds-
Since you didn't talk about age, I won't talk about mine. So I really don't know how many years I've left.
How many years you have left? I hope, Jeannie, you have many, many years left. The plays from in the future, will you have any input with Dorothy as to the play, or is Dorothy the chief commissar of these plays? I often wondered that.
Well, I guess in my opinion, she
is
is. I
the
mean,
commissar.
certainly if she wanted input, if I had any to give, I'd willingly give it. But to me, she's the knowledgeable one and does a great job.
Yeah, it must be a great pleasure having that much time with Dorothy Gamble, who I really think is one of the great Islanders and probably a Woman of the Year candidate, as I always would like to think of what a woman or man could do in this island, and Dorothy does it. She's truly a giving, wonderful human being. Now, you're such a person as well, no doubt. And Jeannie, what can you tell the audience to look for when they're going to see your play in a very short while? What do you just want them to do when they're sitting out there in the audience?
Just simply relax and
Simply
enjoy
relax.
themselves.
And they tend to do that, don't they?
And I hope they will again this year.
Well, Jeannie, I know that they will for some reason. The Lot 16 players are a real tradition on the island, and I've come to know how wonderful they are. And I want to say thank you, Jeannie, and to Dorothy and the rest of the company for their wonderful presence here on the Malpac Cafe studio tonight. So thank you all.
Thank you, Wayne.
My name is Ray Malone, and I'm the Chief Examiner for the province of Prince Edward Island. GED stands for General Education Development. The GED test is a high school equivalency test. Upon successful completion of it, you receive a high school equivalency certificate issued by the Department of Education. This certificate is recognized by most employers and post-secondary